So guys, welcome to Study With Me channel. I'm here with, starting with another lecture series on vector. Vector in physics and geometry. We deal with various physical quantities. They are usually subcategorized in two formats, that is first one scalar and second one is vector. Vector is the physical quantity which possesses both magnitude and directions. I've written in shortcut, that is in magnitude and direction, but the scalar deals only with the magnitude. So Mac. Now in vectors we will study about a bit theory for solving sums. So let us see the types of vector and how to calculate for the vector. So magnitude of AB, consider a vector, consider vector AB. If you want to calculate this AB's value or magnitude of AB, you can say AB vectors mod is equal to length of AB, that is the magnitude. There are various types of vectors. Let us classify them. Types of vector. Our first subtype is unit vector. Unit vector is basically a vector which is having unity or the magnitude is unity, is called as unit vector. So here we have one magnitude, you can say magnitude mj. For any direction, unit vector is determined by, consider a point A for which we are determining, that is a bar, and second is our null vector. Null vector is a vector whose magnitude is 0. So we are having null vector, that is 0 magnitude, and denoted by 0 bar, denoted by 0 bar. Third one is equal vector. Equal vector are the vector which are having the same direction and having same magnitude. Consider two unit vectors, or we can say any vectors, a bar and b bar, which are having same magnitude and same direction. They are called as equal vectors. Now so we'll start with negative of the vectors, that is also called as negative vector. Here just is the case similar to the equal vectors, but here the direction of the vectors are different. That is, consider a bar and b bar having same magnitude but different directions. So a bar is equal to negative of b bar. This is the vector condition for the negative vectors. Now we will study coplanar vector. Coplanar vector. The vectors line is same plane. Sixth one is collinear vectors. Two vectors are said to be collinear vectors when they are parallel to the same line, irrespective of its magnitude or its direction. So this can be stated as two vector which are parallel. Don't get confused in collinear vector and coplanar. Coplanar means the vectors lies in the same plane. For collinear vectors, the two vectors lie parallel to each other, not in the same plane. Now seventh one is like and unlike vector. Two vectors having same directions are called as like vectors, and which are having different directions they are called as unlike vectors. Same as that negative vectors and equal vectors. So for like vectors we can say like vector implies a bar is equal to b bar, and unlike vectors implies a is equal to negative of b bar. So our next subtype is co-initial vectors. The vector which have same initial point are called as co-initial vectors. See, the name suggests the initial point is same of two vectors. So two vectors having same initial point. Free vectors. Free vectors are the vectors which can be shifted along its line of action or parallel to itself, and its initial point can be chosen anywhere. They are called as free vectors. Example, you can say that all equal vectors are free vectors. See, we do not determine the location of vector, that are called as free vectors. So here we can say the vectors which are independent. And our last type, that is localized vector. Vector which can be shifted only along its line of action is called as localized vector. So it can be shifted along its path only, is called as localized vector. Now we are going to see some more types of vectors and its principles ahead.